Oliver Samwer, please come on stage. It's our second interview. And other than last year, this year you really made an effort because he couldn't come yesterday and he came especially for us, for you, for Noah, today to answer my questions. So the obvious question is, how are you? I mean, what have you done? What an amazing thing. When we looked at these IPOs coming, everyone was like, is he going to pull this off? And he did. Do you feel relieved?
I definitely feel very happy. I think like 1 year ago, I think it was still a big step. I mean, we always had the dream to go public. I'm basically now, I think fundamentally maybe like 15, 16 years in the internet business. So I think it's hopefully just the beginning of what we intend to do.
So you haven't arrived, it's the starting point. That's what people say on roadshows. Is that what the bankers teach you, or is it what you genuinely believe?
I think the bankers didn't teach us anything. so I
maybe
think
it's a question on which banker you pick.
I think we had in our IPOs we had quite a few banks, yeah. And no, I fundamentally believe, as an entrepreneur, you're only going to be successful if you do something for the very long term. Yeah, I think that means, yes, you might be able to sell one business to start the next, but fundamentally, if you're not willing to stay in this business for a long time, you will not make it. All those guys who start, okay, I'm going to sell my business in 2 years, even with your help, maybe it's possible, but let's say you need to be very lucky or very unlucky to do that, and I think fundamentally, you need to be decided to be there long term. And I think for us, we say it's a marathon of sprints. It's not one sprint, it's not one marathon. And I hope to be here for the next 25 years.
That sounds like a new Ollie, but I'm sure the old intensity level.
So it's not, I was basically, you know, I'm 16, 70s in this. No, it's the same. It's just kind of like, I think, what I feel really happy about it is, it's fundamentally, I think, has shown other people, other entrepreneurs, that the public offering in Germany, I think in the UK it's more common, in France it's medium common, but I think that also for Europeans, the public offering is a way to raise more capital. Remember, we only raised primary capital. We didn't sell a single stock. Neither in Zalando, the founder sold any stock, nor in Rocket. So I think this needs to be the beginning, and that's what our intention is. And everyone, Zalando found, the founders found their destiny in Zalando. I found my destiny in Rocket, but I definitely want to be bigger. I want to start and support more companies, and I think hopefully many more entrepreneurs are going to go public in the next years and decades.
Hopefully not. We don't do IPOs at Noah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyhow, you raised a lot of capital. Companies go public to have an acquisition currency. Is that for you a topic, or you are just loyal to the motto of we are founders and we found better than anybody else? Would you buy companies?
I think if you look at it, in the past we have bought few companies, but we bought companies. Yes, I think we're interested to build companies, we're interested to invest in companies, and we're also interested to buy companies. Fundamentally, I would say more of an investment side than on buying, because ultimately we want to build great companies with founders. Yeah? And here at Noah, but also at other places, we always meet different teams, and we're very excited to look at new companies.
So all what you have done, I mean, it's really hard asking you any questions. And we had a lot of funny questions, but that's not why we are here. Because what you do is the answer to whatever question we have. Whatever you plan to do, you execute, and whoever doubted you afterwards was proven wrong. But tell us one thing you didn't expect when you went with all these ties in expensive cars on the roadshow. There must have been one big surprise when you met the world of investors, public investors.
So the one thing that that I was surprised is, like, you know, everyone said this roadshow is so tiresome and this is so...
For you it was a walk in the park, right?
So tough. And I think when the bankers sent this plan and it started at 9 a.m. and it ended at 6 p.m., we were just saying kind of, we want to start at 6 a.m. and we want to have like at 12 or at midnight or at 1 a.m. we want to have calls more with Asia. So I think what we did is, you know, most companies have one team doing a roadshow. And then they told us Alibaba had 2 teams doing a roadshow. So basically you split your core management team into 2s. We said, let's have a 4-people team. So we said, why have more than one person each meeting? And I think the banks were a little bit surprised, but it proved us well. I think we did the shortest roadshow ever. I think we had like actual roadshow, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was 5 days.
So you had 4 teams going around.
I mean, like, look at it. Alex could go and play in the store, Johannes can go, Peter can go, and I can go. Why should we have more people? Already for the last few years, I said always with my brothers, why then have more than one person in a meeting? That's not very efficient. I mean, we're Germans. So I think we might not be so creative, but then we have to make up for it with efficiency. Since you're from Poland, you have other capabilities, yeah? Well, maybe we can also open up more to the audience the questions, not always like just you and me, this fire.
Well, I managed to bring them because I told them you are coming, and I told you they are coming, so you're all here.
Okay.
So tell me, last time we met here a year ago, it was all about retail, and you explained us that if you would rule a nation, you would close down the horrible shopping areas and will do like nice parks, etc. Is retail still on top of your mind, or is there something else?
Today we focus still on e-commerce. We still see a lot of opportunities in the entire segment of groceries and so on, for example. We also focus on marketplaces. We have a lot of marketplaces. We see a lot of mobile on-demand services. We see fintech. We see travel. I think fundamentally it's, we are interested in consumer internet. We are not good at software. We are not good at B2B. But maybe SME, small and medium-sized enterprises, this could be another sector. I think we stay, what we feel is common sense, what we can share from our experience.
So Noah's going to Berlin next year. I don't know if you heard, you were kind of missing in action yesterday. What have you been doing? I don't know. But we announced yesterday with Matthias Döpfner, Noah Berlin.
Okay.
And it's always good to put peer pressure on, and these are all your peers. So obviously we win you as the speakers on the 9th and 10th of June. And I would like to invite Jackie Ma to that conference. And I don't think if I call him, he will come. So I would ask you to call him. Have you had dinner with him before?
No, I think I met him 8 years ago, and I'm a tiny fish, so you have to call a big fish to get him. I'm kind of like, and
I will go fishing.
I'm also not very big in networking, so I'm a simple entrepreneur, so maybe you find other people. Yeah, but the banks, the banks are good for that.
Oh, the banks are wonderful.
Yeah. So if you want to meet someone, the banks, yeah. The problem is sometimes my experience is, you have this banker and you want to meet someone, and sometimes it's actually easier to just write them an email, and then you get at least to the CEO. Otherwise, you have to work your way up. Yeah.
How important is Asia for you?
I think Asia is super important for us. Europe is super important. LATAM, Africa. We launched yesterday something in Pakistan. I say nobody's waiting in China for the German, nobody probably in America, but like in other countries, I think that's the one skill maybe Europeans have. They learn languages early, they are backpacking, they're doing interrail and so on, they go to Latin America and travel the world there. So I think we're trying to use what we feel we are good about. Yeah? Efficient, fast, international, not too creative.
Did the bankers tell you that you have to do as the CEO of a public company these earning calls? Are you excited to have your first?
On Monday we have an first 6-month update, and basically we discussed a little bit this morning. I think we're going to have our way of a call, of an earnings call or something. Yeah, I mean, since we are still investing, there are not that many earnings.
I mean,
No. So maybe it's more...
so it's an investing call.
It's very clear. We told, and that's a good thing, we were very clear in our roadshow. We told all of our investors, we believe long-term in this space, in our markets. If you want to invest with us, you have to wait for the development of Africa and the internet space. You have to wait for India, and you see what's happening now, that the market is growing very fast. But we were only looking for very long-term investors, and I think that's definitely my advice. Be it private investor, be it public investor, always tell them what they will have to wait for. And I think, that's why we definitely have a call more of an update and not so much of, is it earning now 5 cents or 5 cents and a half or 6 cents or 6 cents minus 25 or whatever.
It's more about the vision.
I think it's about the vision. It's an update of where we stand, how each company performs. And I think we report only every 6 months. You know, I always say, Jack Ma, he took the liberty to say, okay, I have only 9% of the shares, but I have 51% of the votes. Other people at Google, whatever, they have other voting agreements. I said, you know, I think it's very different in Europe. We said, okay, we're going to have the same votes as the number of shares, but we're going to report only every half a year, not every quarter, because we want time to develop our things, and I think therefore not that much has changed. When everyone today asks me about how is it to be the CEO of a public company, I don't think it's that fundamentally different. We tried not to lose any speed. We try not to basically do anything what maybe a classical corporate is doing, as much as, of course, we have to fulfill regulation.
So you said you went public to have access to funds, like other entrepreneurs should do it too. The only surprise for you going public was that bankers don't work that hard. But tell us, there's also another reason to go public, which is attracting talent. And now you are not just a rocket in Berlin, now you're a public rocket, and I guess I just checked the market cap, it's like 7.3 billion euros. Have you already seen some change getting more talent into your companies because you're public?
I think it's definitely easier, especially international. Before, I think we were very much a German story. Now I think we are a story in many markets, I think especially in that very first. But at the same time, you know, we are looking for the people who are willing to take the risk. So therefore, the people that would only join us because we are a public company, I think is not the right person anyway. Yeah? But fundamentally, I think it helps in everything. I think it's not that everything got more bureaucratic, etc. Yeah? I think we keep the same speed and we do what we did in the last 15 years.
I have a personal question.
Not allowed.
You're known to put a lot of pressure on people.
Also not possible. No.
Let's call it you have an ability to find the best skills in them and motivate them at the right point in their life.
Sounds better. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds more or less right, yeah.
Can I become your PR agent? No. The question I have is, you put your targets always so high and you raise money, some say at ambitious valuations. I mean, this Oliver Samwer is so much under pressure. How are you getting by? It must be so much different investors calling you, and especially the ones who have no clue about internet and want to have an update. I mean, how do you cope with all that?
Okay, in general, you know, public investors in the internet, there are quite a few smart ones out there. Yeah? It's not, I think, like maybe 15 years ago. They ask the right questions, they know about customer acquisition, customer lifetime value, they have a pretty clear picture about competition, competitive environments, markets. But I think, yes, we are a very intense group. I think some of our investors say, you know, in rocket presentation, you never have a break, yeah, food is shit, yeah. So basically, some people might not come to our events, but generally quite a few people show up because we are pretty honest, we are pretty straightforward, and there are very few breaks in food, yeah.
Okay.
So not like at your luxury conference here.
Oliver, a lot of people ask me how much time I've left. I'm going to ask you how much time I've left.
I think in the end, I'm here, so I think maybe we leave it. If there's any special question, we answer those.
Let's ask a question from the auditorium.
If the auditorium doesn't have any question, I can go and work.
Questions? Oliver, we don't want to stop you. We don't want to be the reason that you're not able to cope with the pressure. I wish you a great trip in London.
Thanks
and
very much.
Congratulations for these IPOs.
Thanks so much.